What is up, everybody? Welcome to Pitching Ninja's filthiest pitches of the day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Heck, you can even do it after this video. But join the biggest daily baseball show on YouTube. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Josiah Gray, who had 6 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up only 1 run. Gray had these filthy breaking balls, and also this very elevated fastball. I blame the thin air in Colorado. He battled against Kyle Freeland, who put on a knuckle curve show, and went 6 2/3 scoreless innings with 5 strikeouts. Yes, this was a 1-0 game in Colorado. How rare is that? There have been more 28-run games in Colorado than 1-run games, 15-11, according to Codified Baseball. Great pitching all around. Alex Wood had this painted sinker and nasty sliders on his way to 3 strikeouts, giving up only 1 earned run in 3 innings. He battled Lance Lynn, who did give up 8 runs. We're not going to shy away from that, but he had this cutter that hit Jock Peterson on a swing and miss, right in the thigh, adding injury to insult. So even with Lynn giving up 8 runs, for one brief moment, he was that motherfucker.
We are those motherfuckers!
And yes, that goes down as a dead ball strikeout. Chris Sale had 7 strikeouts in 5 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. His command started out shaky. In fact, he threw 8 consecutive balls to start the game. And you could tell he was frustrated because after this slider, you can hear him say, "Where the is that?" But when Sale put it together, he looked a little like prime Chris Sale. In fact, one could say it was smooth sailing. With these wicked sliders, including this wipeout slider. He outdueled Spencer Turnbull, who had this painted curveball, but that was his only K. Jordan Lyles had 9 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings. He did give up 5 runs, but had these nasty 2-seamers and got a sword on this curveball. He was outdueled by Kevin Gausman, who had 7 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up no runs. Gausman's velo was down a little bit, but his splitter was filthy. And when his splitter's on, he racks up a lot of Ks. And this overlay with his 92-mile-an-hour fastball shows you why. Those 2 pitches track on the same trajectory, and that splitter dives to the dirt. We had a Quadzilla versus Snellzilla battle, and Quadzilla came out on top. Spencer Strider had 9 strikeouts in 5 innings, giving up 3 runs. And he had just filthy stuff. He painted with his fastballs, he painted with his sliders, he got a sword on this slider, and even worked in a nasty changeup. He actually didn't have his overpowering fastball, but still located really well. And these overlays show why Strider is so dominant. First off, this shows why you might take a fastball low in the zone. Strider throws this slider that bounces and obviously gets the take, and he follows it up with a fastball right at the knees in that same plane as the slider. As a hitter, you're expecting that pitch to drop just like the previous pitch did, but instead it keeps its plane and hits the zone. And Strider's fastball keeps its plane really well. Secondly, here's a longer overlay of Spencer Strider's fastball and slider. And this is from a different at-bat, but you can see how his mechanics repeat perfectly. And again, those pitches follow the same trajectory, but the slider dives away and that fastball keeps its plane. Strider is now the 2nd favorite in the NL Cy Young race, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, at plus 700. As I mentioned, Quadzilla outdueled Snellzilla, but Blake Snell did have this beautiful curveball, and that was his 1,000th career K. My filthiest starter of the day was Dustin May. Hey, that rhymed. He had 5 Ks in 6 innings, giving up only 1 run on 2 hits. He really didn't have an amazing curveball this game, but his fastball, oh my God. Feast your eyes on this 100-mile-an-hour sinker that ran 19 inches. This thing looks like it teleports. I tweeted this during the game, and it nearly broke Twitter. Although that's not saying much these days. You can see some of the comments. People couldn't believe their eyes. May also had this 100-mile-an-hour fastball that could not be placed any better, literally. that may be 2 seams of the baseball in the strike zone, right down in the corner. Absolutely perfect. In fact, I'm going to make a new ninja rule that if you can throw that pitch, it should be an automatic strikeout at any point in the AB. May's sinker moved so much it terrorized hitters. Look at this sinker to Thomas that he thinks is going to hit his knees and ends up in the zone. And that's the face you make when you think you were going to get your knees exploded, but you get a strike instead. May also had this beautiful 96-mile-an-hour cutter, which is totally unfair. Here it is paired up with his 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and you can see how they look the same, and that cutter cuts in the dead zone of your swing. Dustin May is one of the filthiest pitchers in the game, and if he puts it together, he may have a Cy Young in his future. Now on to my filthiest relievers. Carlos Vargas had this 101-mile-an-hour fastball. Phil Bickford had this slider sword. Evan Phillips ended the game with a fastball at the knees. Jacob Junis had this White Castle special. For y'all who are new here, a White Castle special are 3 disgusting sliders in a row for a K. AJ Minter had this 96-mile-an-hour heat. Pierce Johnson had these nasty curveballs. But my filthiest pitch from a reliever yesterday was this wipeout slider from Justin Lawrence. That thing ends up way in the other batter's box and gets the swing and miss. Yikes. In minor league action, Mason Erla, Angels prospect, nearly killed a man with his slider. And for some reason, the announcer called it a changeup.
Went with the changeup down and away.
From the high school ranks, Riley Byers threw a 16-strikeout no-hitter and had this. Do you want to see a dead body? And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. Okay, Braves scoreboard operator, I think you meant sweeper. This is a family-friendly stadium.
That's an interesting term for the sweeper.
Well, I saw that, and I didn't know if I was supposed to say that or not on TV.
I love Jeff Rencourt not knowing what to do here. And Steven Wilson, the pitcher, just cracked up. For those who don't know, a slutter is kind of a type of pitch. It's a slider-cutter combo. But it's more of slang, and we don't officially recognize that as a pitch type, nor was this pitch a slutter. So someone operating the Braves Jumbotron may have just had their last day operating the Braves Jumbotron. And lastly, this is a reminder, do not play with your balls. What is up, everybody? My picks of the day today are a 3-leg same-game parlay plus. First, I'm going to start out with a same-game parlay of Zach Wheeler for 7 Ks or more and Hunter Green for 8 Ks or more. And I'm going to top it off with Logan Gilbert for 5 Ks or more. We're going for 2 wins in a row. What would your picks of the day be?